from outside because we have Keto Coach E coming up. And I've got to talk a little bit about this because to have coach in your name, a little something about what you're about to get. What a coach does is they come into your life and they get a 30,000 foot perspective. And they're able to see the holes in your ship, so to speak, and where those leaks might be, where the upsets might be, the small, minimal changes that you could do to have incredible impact. And I have seen this man add additional small informational changes to everything he does and how he shares about this lifestyle. He takes everything that comes in and he doesn't just apply the motivation, the goal setting, and the winning spirit that is required to be a coach at the caliber he is, but he also has a scientific and research heart that I just love to see. He loves to do the work on our behalf to show you the small differences that can make the biggest impact in your game. And if you are playing the game of keto, if you are doing this as part of your lifestyle, if you're in this room and you're training with this community, you need a coach to speak life into you. And I know Keto Coach E is about to do that because he has spoken life into each of us in so many different ways. If this is your very first time hearing him speak, can you raise your hand? Yo, your lives are about to be a whole big game changer. When I say game changer, this man changed the game of how I did keto and how I thought about food, as well as I thought about my relationship with food. And so when I tell you last year when he showed up, I hadn't seen him speak. I knew what he was capable of doing. I saw the way this man walked into a room, and I knew after hearing him on Clubhouse, after seeing him for a couple of years, that he was about to show up and show out. By last year, I not only believed that I could win in a way that I've never won before, but I was brought to tears. I was addressing things that I did not know. That beautiful man would come up and tell me I needed to address in my heart. And he did it with the entire room by addressing his own stuff and showing up in a way that was vulnerable and real and authentic, in a way I don't think we get enough of in any community. But when I tell you we have the best of the best in coaches in this room, Keto Coach E has led from the front over and over and over again with every single individual that has walked in his space to make sure that he could show you how to have a winning game. And we are about to win big because Keto Coach E is coming to the stage! Big round of applause, folks. We're so excited to have him here.
Wow. Thank you, Mary. Checks in the mail. Well, I'm glad to be here. Don't mind my headphone. This is for the phone. This is the microphone for the phone so that TikTok can hear me, right? So what I want to do is I want to coach you today. So I know you got a lot of information from some great speakers on the ketogenic lifestyle, on managing your health. And I say, you know what? I want to bring it all around full circle. And I want to coach you today. I want to have you be successful in your next 90 days. So I want you to win your next 90 days. So we are here, Keto Orlando Summit, Champions for Health. So we're here to win. So winning your next 90 days is easy. So one of the things that I say is if you give me 90 days, I'm going to give you success. So if you give me 90 days, I'm going to give you success. So if you want success, all you got to do is give me what? 90. All right, so let's go. All right, maybe this thing is not on yet. Clicker. There we go. So here are our objectives. And I'll tell you a little bit about myself as we get ready to get into the objectives. My background is in biology. I have a degree in biology. And I am also a high school teacher. So I'm a high school teacher. So here we go. We have our objective for the day. And that is to give goal management tools that will set you up for success over the next 90 days. So in the next 45 minutes to an hour, you're going to be set up for success for what? Your next 90 days. Because if you give me 90 days, I'm going to give you success. People don't quit the ketogenic lifestyle because it's not sustainable. That word drives me crazy. Because what is sustainable? And then I'm a science teacher, so we get renewable energy and sustainable energy and all those type things. But when you talk about a lifestyle, a dietary lifestyle, what does sustainable really mean? Does it mean 2 weeks? Does it mean 2 months? Does it mean 2 years? Does it mean 10 years? 20 years? What does sustainable really mean? But I'm just going to throw that word in there because people like to throw that around when we talk about the dietary lifestyles, when we talk about diet. So people don't quit the ketogenic lifestyle because it's not sustainable. People quit because they forget why they started. So most of you are in this room, if not all of you are in this room, because there's some emotional attachment to the lifestyle, to your health, that got you to spend the money to get here, to fly, to drive, to buy a ticket, to all of those things, to be here today sitting in this seat. Some people left and went to get something to eat, and you say, you know what, I'm going to see Coach E. So you are here for a reason. So let's keep that in our mind. People don't quit because they're burned out, because they can't figure out what to eat. People quit because they forget why they started. So what we have to do is identify our what? We got to identify our why. Why is it that you started this lifestyle? I came up with an acronym. Like I told you, I'm a teacher. So acronyms are my thing. Everything is an acronym. So what's the acronym for why? What heals you? So you need to know what it is that heals you. What is the thing that is going to get you motivated? That's going to get you to that next level? What is your why? And you hear the cliche terms, your why should make you cry. That's true. Your why should be something that gets into your emotions. So I'm going to show you today how to identify that. That's our first step. We're going to identify that. I'm going to give you strategies to identify that. Now, I passed out some papers. I told you I'm a teacher now. Your work is on the table now. So pass those papers down if you haven't seen them. They're on all of the ends. So pass those down. Make sure you get your pen out. I told y'all, we're going to work for this 45 minutes. When you walk out of here, your next 90 days are going to be special. So everyone should have a paper. I made more than enough copies. Feel free to jump up and get one. Y'all feel free to come up and sit at a table where you can write. If you want to get right for the next 90 days, come on up to a table where you can sit down and you can write. Because you're going to jot down some notes. We're going to find what heals you. So let's identify this why. As we said, cliche, the why should make you cry. So here's our first step. We're going to connect it with your emotions. What are the emotional drivers? Identify the emotional reasons behind your desire for wellness. What are those emotional reasons? What is the thing, the moment, when you said, enough is enough? I got to make a change. I need you to think about that moment. I need you to go right back there, right now. What is that moment where you said, man, this is it? That time that you walked up to the top of the stairs and you were out of breath and you felt like that was going to be your last day and you said, I got to make a change. The day when your grandchild ran up to you to give you a hug and you couldn't even bend down to hug them and you said, this is the last day. So you got to find that moment. What is that moment? Identify the emotion. Attach the emotion to it. What is that emotion that said, you know what? I'm going to get well. I'm going to do better. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to exercise better. And I got to give y'all a second to write that down. So your task in that instance is to reflect on how you want to feel in terms of your physical and mental well-being. Jot those things down. I'm going to move fast. If y'all want me to stop, this is class. So like I say, this is not a presentation. This is a conversation. So feel free to be like, hold on, coach. I need a second. I need to write this down. I got a thought. I need to write this down. Feel free to ask a question if you need me to elaborate on anything. But we're going to connect this with our emotional drivers. What are the emotional drivers? My emotional drivers. I was 250 plus pounds. At my heaviest weight, I could still dunk a basketball, so felt like I was all right. But as I got older, that 250 pounds hit a little bit different. And I went to a conference. It wasn't even a conference. It was an event, and I was there helping people taking their blood pressure. So the nurse called me over because it got slow. and she took my blood pressure, and then she gave me the look of what I call the look of death. Have you ever been to the doctor or nurse and they kind of look at you like they're afraid to tell you what they have to tell you? And she looked at me, she was like, Monday, you need to go to the doctor. I'm like, wow, what's wrong? I'm happy-go-lucky. She said, your blood pressure is definitely high. And I'm like, what does that mean? She's like, you need to go to the doctor on Monday. So me being a man, y'all know what I'm talking about. My wife is sitting right there in the front row. So she know me being a man, I'm like, I'm good. I'm be all right. And then I started having bouts of dizziness. And if you know anything about me, I'm a person that doesn't drink because I like to have my faculties. I like to always be aware. I like to be in my wife says I'm a control freak in that sense, right? I like to be aware. I like to know what's going on. I don't ever want to get caught slipping. That is like my mindset when it comes to those things. And I blacked out for a short enough period of time where I didn't hit the floor, but it was long enough that I knew I lost consciousness. And I said, I gotta change, I gotta do something. That was it. That was the moment. So that why that makes you cry, that emotional driver, that was my emotional driver. That was the one. That's the reason why I'm never going back. That's the reason why when I saw Mary last night, she said, oh, what you eating? I'm eating keto, that's for sure. I don't know what it is, but I might throw the bun in the trash can if I got to. But I tell you what, I'm not spiking my blood sugar tonight because I don't want to hit the floor. Not only that, I finally went to the doctor because of my control issues and not wanting to lose consciousness. And the doctor said, hey, I got a statin for you. Ben just told you about the statins, didn't he? I got a statin for you. You know what? I got something for that blood pressure. You're going to take both of these and we're going to watch you get better. So I took those for years and he said, you know what? Next time you come back, I got some more medication for you. You know what that medication is for? That's for your pre-diabetes. I said, oh no. I watched my grandmother stick needles in her stomach as I was growing up as a kid. And there's a reason why I remember that moment so well. Because she as a kid, you probably afraid of needles. I know I was. I still am. My wife got to hold my hand to this day when I go get a needle. And my thought was, you sticking yourself? Like, no, like somebody got to hold me down to give me a needle. And that stuck with me. My mother's diabetic. My father's diabetic. My grandparents were diabetic. And when he said, you're pre-diabetic, I said, I'm breaking the curse. So those are my emotional drivers. Now, that's only the first thing we got to connect with. We got to align to your core values. What are your core values? Family. A lot of people have family in their core values. Are you showing up as the best you for your family members? Are you showing up as the best you for your children, for your grandchildren, for your husband, for your wife? What are your core values? Family was one of the main ones. Probably most of y'all writing down family. You want to show up as the best you for your family. Or whatever your core values might be. It might be attached to religion. So what I would like for you to do is make a list of your core values related to wellness. And you can relate them all to wellness. We talked about the grandchildren, right? Talked about the children. Do they want to play? I got a niece. And boy, she got a lot of energy. And all she want to do is play. Uncle Kevin. She want to play all day long. Am I going to have the energy to play with her? Am I going to have the energy to take her to the park? Am I going to have the energy to push her on the swing? Or am I always going to be too tired? What are your core values? I know family is one of my main core values. I want to show up as the best me for my wife who's sitting in the front row. As a man, I want to make sure I can love her right too. That matters. What are those core values? Write those core values down. If I'm going too fast, just let me know. Visualize your best self. I'm going to tell y'all a secret. I'm going to whisper a little bit. When I made my vision board, I took Idris Elba body and I cut his head off and I put mine on it. Visualize your best self. What does the best you look like? Is the best you running a 5K? How about walk a 5K? Is the best you exercising on a regular basis? Is the best you able to challenge your nieces and nephews to some push-ups, a race, whatever it might be, a dance contest, whatever it might be? Are you able to challenge them? What is the best you? Visualize your best self. How do you look? What are you wearing? That dress that you see, are you in that dress? Fellas, are you wearing that suit? How does it fit? How does it feel? Visualize that. The mind is a powerful thing. Visualization is a powerful, powerful thing. A vision board. I know we can't make a vision board today, but I would encourage everybody to make a vision board. Yes, you can cut Idris Elba's head off. So our task is to visualize that. So I'm a teacher, right? Some people don't like to write, so you can draw it if you want to draw it. Short description. Focus on aspects of wellness such as fitness, nutrition. Mental health is very big. And overall well-being. How are you showing up mentally? We talk about the physical. How are you showing up mentally? Stop me if I'm going too fast. Reflect on personal challenges and motivations. Personal challenge for me. I've had 3 knee surgeries. Guess how many knees I have? God only gave me 2 knees. I had 3 knee surgeries. But I don't have any inflammation. I probably have less knee pain than people who've never had surgery. Because I focus on my inflammation. I focus on eating a very low carb dietary lifestyle that's going to decrease my inflammation. Analyze any personal health challenges or motivations. I like basketball. My wife told me she would kill me if I played anymore, if I actually played in the game. So I just shoot around a little bit. I challenge the kids to little challenges and, hey, we're going to have a shooting contest. You can't make more jump shots than I can make. But I'm going to be in the gym. I'm going to be shooting at basketball. Trust me. Because if I couldn't do that, I wouldn't feel like myself. So that's a motivator for me. On my birthday, went in the gym. I had some of the kids pass me the basketball. And I turned 50 in May 20th. I turned 50. And I made 50 jump shots. Next year, I'm going to make 51. I hope that I get to the point where I can make 101 on my 101st birthday, right? So that's important to me. I want to be able to fight through some of those physical challenges, even though I've had 3 knee surgeries. What are your physical challenges? Think about those. Write about past health struggles or specific motivations for seeking wellness. I gave another one of my struggles is my parents, my grandparents. What I'm 2, 3 generations in, diabetes. That's a challenge because what do they say? It's genetic, right? It's a learned behavior as well. So I said, you know what? If it's genetic, it's genetic. I'm gonna be okay with that. But I'm gonna focus on what I can control. And what I can control is my eating habits so that I can see if it's genetic. And what did I find? I may have a little bit of a disposition if I don't eat right. But I'm not diabetic. I'm not pre-diabetic. But I definitely was there. I was pre-diabetic. I was right in that realm. So those are some of my personal challenges and motivations. Seek inspiration from role models. My wife and I talked about this earlier, and I seek a lot of inspiration from you. People that are in my mastermind coaching group, watching them lose weight, not lose. Watching them lose weight. That makes me show up every single week. Every single Thursday. I see Nisi back there. Every single Thursday when I had my class, how many times I change it, Nisi? How many times I have to change the date? Never. Because Thursday, I'm there. And that's my expectation. If I'm there, you got to be there. I'm not recording it. If I'm going to show up, you show up. Because I'm going to show up for you because you inspire me. You inspire me to do better. You inspire me to learn. You inspire me to read. You inspire me to be a better coach. You inspire me to be better with my health so that I can help you be better with yours. You are my inspiration. You are my motivation. You're the reason I got on a plane from Baltimore, Maryland to fly to Orlando, Florida. The sun is nice too, though. And my wife and I are science nerds, so we went to NASA. So you want to write down the things that inspire you, the people that inspire you. Comparison is the thief of joy. So we're not talking about people that you want to compare yourself to. We're talking about somebody that when you scroll on TikTok and you see them, you get up and you go exercise. When you scroll on Instagram and you see them and you're like, I'm going to eat right today. No comparison, just inspiration. Identify those role models. Those are going to be the people that keep you going. And hopefully some of those people are close to you. You know who else is my role model? My wife. Y'all gonna make me cry. People don't quit the ketogenic lifestyle because it's not sustainable. People quit because they forget why they started. So hopefully you're able to start dialing in on your why. Right? Now we start dialing in on why we started this dietary lifestyle. Why you are sitting right here right now. Because this is what you're going to have to go back to when it gets hard. This is what you're going to have to go back to when you go to the big birthday party and they got all of the food that you know is not going to be conducive to you getting to your goal. when you walk into the teacher's lounge on teacher appreciation week and they got donuts and pastries in there for everyone to eat. And you know what? At the end of the school day, they still got some left over. So that's when you got to go back to why you started. When I walk into that teacher's lounge, I'm like, nope. I know why I started this thing. So let's go. Let's set these goals, y'all. Let's set these goals. Erica gonna come get me in a little bit. So y'all heard of SMART goals, right? The S meaning specific, M meaning measurable, the A attainable, the R realistic, and the T timely. All right. The A and the R always make me mad because I think they're the same thing. So I made my own. Keto goals. We have our keto goals. Here it is. Y'all saying, well, what does keto stand for, coach? Key, explicit, not that kind of explicit. Explicit, time bound, and obtainable. Okay, so let's dig a little deeper on that. So key, understanding the key reasons behind your goals. And what's the key reasons behind your goal? Your what? Your why. So it's key. So that's the key. You got to know what that why is. That's the beginning of it all. If you don't know your why, you're going to struggle forever. You have to know why you started this. You have to be able to tap into that every time it gets hard. Every single time, you got to be able to tap into that. The E, explicit. You got to clearly define it. It's got to be clearly defined. It can't just be, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to get my A1Cs down. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to exercise. That's not enough. That goal got to be explicit. And I'm going to dig a little deeper. The T, obvious, time bound. 90 days. I love it. There we go. 90 days. So what are you going to do in the next 90 days? We're going to write that down too. So defining a clear time frame. And make sure it's attainable. We have to make sure it's obtainable. Ensure that the goal is reachable. I'm going to lose 100 pounds in 30 days. That's not obtainable. I mean, if you do that, it's probably not going to be the healthiest way in the world you did it. So let's make goals that are going to be obtainable. That are going to be realistic. So these still SMART goals, y'all. That just changed it up a little bit. So these are still SMART goals. So let's set our goals. So we have our sheet here, right? So goals. I call them product goals. So product goals, like in math class, the product is the end result, right? That's the answer. So the product goals, these are the end goals. These are the big goals, and I call these the big three. So these are the big goals. These are the top goal. I'm going to lose 50 pounds by New Year. That is your product goal. That's going to be your end result. I was specific about how much it was. I was specific about the time that it was going to be. So I want you to think of three, the big three, product goals. And here goes some examples of things I had written down. Lower A1Cs below 6 by Christmas. Now, I don't know what one's A1Cs might be. It's an example. Lose 50 pounds by the new year. Run a 5K on Thanksgiving. So it can't just be lower my A1Cs. Lose 50 pounds. How long is it going to take you? Going to take you 10 years? So we got to be able to put that time on there. We have to make it timely. So 3 product goals. So if you look at the sheet, you can see that the product goals are dark. They're a little bit darker on the sheet on page 3 of your goal setting worksheet. Let me know if I'm going too fast. So next we got to set our process goals. You ever heard fall in love with the process? Trust the process as well. Definitely. We have to trust the process, fall in love with the process because that's part of it. How bad do you want it? So these are the small stepping stones. So as a kid, we always used to have these little creeks. And the creek would probably be from the end of this stage to that table. Now I know I look like an athlete, but do you think I can take off and jump and get to that table? You think I can do it? You think I can do it? Y'all trying to see me kill myself here. Y'all, I see people taking their phone out right now, trying to get a viral moment. It's highly unlikely with all of my superior athleticism that I would still be able to make it over there to that table. So what do you have? You have these little rocks in the creek, and you jump to one, and you get your balance. And then you look, and you jump on the other one. You might slip a little bit, but you stay. You might even dip your foot in the water a little bit, and you get back on it. You get your balance. And then you make your way across. Another big issue with goal setting is people are just looking at the product. They're looking at the product and not falling in love with the process. And it is no way they're going to jump from this side of the creek to the other side of the creek. So they end up where? In the water with the crayfish, crawfish, whatever you call them, right? We used to catch those too. Take them home, put them in a fish tank. So we got to have the small goals that are going to get us to the big goal. Now, those of y'all that are with me, in the next 90 days, you're going to be in my inbox. Because I'm going to need you to be in my inbox to say, Coach, yep, I'm glad I was there. Because y'all going to keep me motivated to keep doing what I do. So that's your action for the process goals. So on the process goals, you got your 3 product goals. And I'm just going to harp on the 50-pound one. You can use these for anything, any aspect of life. We focused on wellness today. We focus on the ketogenic lifestyle, but you can use this for any aspect. So my process goal number 1, I'll lower my carb intake to 20 net carbs per day. Maybe I ain't been paying attention to how many carbs I've been taking in. I just been keeping it low. And maybe you ain't been watching my videos. And you've been eating some of the non-keto Coach E approved items. Show up to Coach E Zoom 3 times per month. I have 4, sometimes 5, depending on what month it is. But I'm going to show up 3 times a month. Because one of my biggest things is you have to show up. Show up, keep up, speak up. Show up for yourself. Log in for yourself. Keep up. If we say this ingredient is not going to get you to the goal line, then don't keep buying or eating that item. Keep up. And speak up. Coach, I'm having some difficulty with this. So some people just sit in silence, struggling. For what? When you have people that are here to help you. Show up, speak up, and keep up. Any way you want to say it. And number 3, exercise 3 days per week. So that would be my process goals for my product goal of losing 50 pounds by New Year's. So you got three of those. You're going to set your three product goals, and you got to have your three process goals or your stepping stones that are going to get you to the product goal. Now, in conclusion, you have to work on this mindset. We have to fix our mindset. And I'm a teacher, so you know what I gave you for mindset? An acronym. There we go. And I wish I was slick enough to have it pop up one by one. But number one, or letter M in mindset, mistakes. You are going to make mistakes. It's okay. Just because you make a mistake does not mean you should quit. You're going to make mistakes. I'm telling you right now, you're going to make mistakes. So we over that hurdle already. Mistakes are going to be made. As a coach, I make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. There are products entering the market every single day. You're bound to get excited one day and eat one and then get on my TikTok and I say, that's not Keto Coaching approved. And you're like, man. The I. Be intentional. Be very intentional. We know with the ketogenic lifestyle, you're going to eat a higher amount of healthy fat. So I'll give this example. If I walk into the store and I have an option, and one of them are pistachios and one macadamia nuts, which one do you think I'm going to pick? See, y'all know the answer. But pistachios taste so good. Right. But if you're being intentional and you know that you need to get more healthy fat, you're going to eat the macadamia nut. Because I can get 2 ounces of macadamia nuts, and I didn't even come in here to do my keto thing that hard today. You know, just a little bit, right? I want to coach today. I'm being coached today. So the macadamia nut is going to give me 40 grams for 2 ounces of fat. I'm going to get three, let's just say carbohydrates. I'm going to get three, let's just say 4 carbohydrates off of those 2 ounces of macadamia nuts, and I'm going to be satiated. I'm going to be satisfied. But if I get them pistachios, I might still be eating them. And 2 ounces of pistachios is going to give you somewhere close to 8-9 grams of carbs. So if you're being intentional and you're really paying attention to what you're doing, then you're going to make the choice that is going to be best for your success. So the end is never give up. So what? You had a choice day. So what? You took 6 months off of the dietary lifestyle. Does that mean you can't go back? Does that mean you can't start over? We'll go back to the M. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to make mistakes. You know what? You're going to lose a little weight. And then the winter time will come, you might gain a little weight. But stay in the game. You're not going to quit. You might be down, but you're not going to be what? Out. Dream. Visualize. How you going to look at your grandchild's wedding, at your child's wedding? How you going to look at the event next week? How you going to look? Dream a little bit. Have some self-control. Walk into the teacher's lounge. Nope, not today. Turn around and come on back out. Have some self-control. And this is the hardest one I had to put on here. Is the S. Have some self-control. But sometimes the coach got to kick you in the butt and tell you, have a little self-control, have a little discipline. Have a little bit of self-control. E is evolve. Evolve with the times. You got all of these great coaches, doctors, enthusiasts here giving you the science, the new science. Evolve with it. And I ain't come to get all into the science today. But I can tell y'all what, there's a lot of science out there for the ketogenic lifestyle. But you're going to dig real hard to find something that's really not for it. You're going to get a lot of naysayers. But there's a lot of good information about how good the ketogenic lifestyle is for our health. And then last but not least, T, you got to train your brain. You have to train your brain to ignore some of this mess that's out here. And when I say the naysayers, right? People are saying things like, keto is not sustainable. What does that mean? What does that mean? Right. And with me and my science brain, that means nothing to me. Because what are we defining sustainability as? You know what? 67% of people who have a gym membership don't go. Facts. Right? They bought a gym membership, they're paying every month, and they don't go. 67%. Who ever got on the internet and said, no one should go to the gym because it's not sustainable? So you got to train your brain to let that stuff bounce off. Listen to some of the people that you see here. Get the science from those individuals. Get the education from those individuals. And train your brain to be able to do all of the things we talked about today. So we want to get you these goals set. Now, hopefully, like I said, after this 40 minutes, you have your goals set for the next 90 days. I don't need it. They say I got 5 minutes. So I'm going back to slide number 1 here. No, I'm not. I'm going to go right there. So this is how you can find me. And I apologize for the blurry picture. That's actually me at about 2:40. And I keep that picture on my book and everywhere else. So hopefully when you see me, you can be like, oh, he's a little bit slimmer than he was then. So I'm Keto Coach E on all platforms. KetoCoachE.com. I have a book called The Keto Playbook, which is on Amazon, as well as my book called Goal Crusher. That might be under my government name, Kevin English. All right. So I thank y'all. If y'all have any questions, let me know. I'll be here for the rest of the day. And thank you.